Jerry Jones revisiting what went wrong with their effort to re-sign Gregory. Here's what Jones had to say.
As you know, I think a lot of Randy and how he has evolved and where he is in his career. But he evolved so well that he got beyond where I wanted to go. With the guarantees that were going to be involved to have Randy here, and I could have done it, were unacceptable to us. I'd rather have the two, Armstrong and our other one. I'd rather have those two than the one.
Dorance Armstrong is
and the other
guy
one.
he was
That's
talking
how
and
good
the other
they
one.
are. The other
the
one.
guy
He's
that
so
I don't
good.
even know who
right.
it is. I'd rather have Armstrong and the other one than Randy Gregory. And here's the issue with the guarantees, and it was very simple. It was very, very simple. The structure was the same. The money was the same from Denver and Dallas. But in Denver, the guaranteed money voids if Randy Gregory is suspended, specifically under the substance abuse policy, but it's broader than that. But the substance abuse policy is very relevant to Randy Gregory because he's been suspended multiple times under that policy. The Dallas offer would have voided the guarantees, and it becomes relevant for next year. It's like $14 million that's in play here. That becomes voided if he's simply fined under the substance abuse policy, and the Cowboys refused to change that language. And that's relevant because if he struggles this year, they have an escape clause. And they wish they had an escape clause, for example, from Ezekiel Elliott. They signed that contract where the guarantees vested a year in advance, and they're stuck with him this year. They'd love to get rid of him, but they're going to pay him 8 figures this year because it guaranteed last year. They got no way out. So they would have guaranteed Randy Gregory this year and next year, and with the language they had in the contract, they would have had a way out. And my understanding is that they were trying to say, well, we're really not going to use that. The way that Jones said what he said yesterday, it sure as hell sounds like they would have used it if they could have, that they weren't comfortable giving him the protection against having his salary for next year yanked out from under him. That's why he picked Denver. He got a greater degree of protection for next year's salary than he would have had this year. So Randy Gregory wasn't happy about that either. And you know, at a certain point, you just got to move on.
Yeah.
You just got to move on.
Right.
And Gregory's kind of taking the high road. I know a thing or two about the final conversation between Gregory and his agent and Jerry Jones, and a couple of things Jerry Jones said. And maybe one of these days they'll go on the record with what he said. And, you know, if he keeps picking at this, maybe they will.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, and here's some tweets about what he said. I mean, as far as, or what Randy Gregory said yesterday. You know, find his war daddy already, not fuming. I just think we're tired of unnecessary comments. We're living, taking care of our lives. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, that's what Twitter is for. Everybody's life is perfect, Randy. Everyone. I didn't know if you knew that. Twitter, everyone that tweets, they're perfect, and they're going to judge you. But, yeah, I'm sure. Well, I can understand both sides being pissed a little in this one, Mike. I can understand Randy Gregory and his side completely. Yeah, you want the security. You know, the substance abuse program and fines and all that can be very picky. I mean, it can be really picky. And then so what? Oh, I showed up to the P test 4 seconds late. You're fine. Hey, you're off the team. We're not paying you your guaranteed contract anymore. Like, what? So I get that. I also get Jerry Jones' family going, wait, we gave you like strike 100 and let you stay around here and like rehabilitate your life and get you on the right track.
Because he's good.
I know.
Because
he's
right. good.
And they
Jerry
drafted
Jones
a second
doesn't
round
believe
for him, right? I know.
He doesn't believe in the marijuana prohibition either.
Yeah.
That's the irony of all this.
Yeah.
They want to have a technicality where they can void his contract and not pay him in 2023 if he doesn't play well enough in 2022, hinging upon him being fined under a policy that Jerry Jones has openly advocated they get rid of.
That doesn't make sense.
And look, here's how it all happened in the first place. The Cowboys, I think, just assumed he was going to re-sign with them. The Broncos show up with a real offer, and the Cowboys scramble to match it. Hey, can we match it? Can we match it? And Gregory says, okay, fine. And then the paperwork comes in. It's like, well, you aren't really matching it because you're making it easier to void my guarantee in year 2. And then that's when the Cowboys got all pissed off. I don't like that aspect of it. And it reminds me of what happened with the Packers and Davante Adams. The reason you find yourself in that mess is you drag your feet because you don't think someone else values the guy the way that you will later say, well, yeah, we did value him, but we wanted to see that someone else valued him before we decided to value him the same way. So they kind of got what they deserved by screwing around and waiting for the Broncos to get interested in Randy Gregory.
Yeah, I understand that. When you say it from that standpoint, I don't think you're wrong there. I don't. And that doesn't make sense in the fact that you bring that up. And, I didn't really even put that together. You're right. Jerry Jones is an advocate of lesser marijuana, what would I say, charges, discipline, whatever in the NFL. He has said at meetings in the past.
Yeah, we need to get out of the marijuana business.
Yeah,
I know every time I try to do that, it sounds more like the Chicken Man.
Not bad,
but we need to get out of the marijuana business. We need to get the hell out of the marijuana business. We need to get back into the Johnny Walker Blue business. All right.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.